And the Oscar goes to Robert Downey Jr.
This is the first Oscar win for Robert Downey Jr.
Thank you.
Is Hollywood really just entertainment?
Located in the neighborhood of Los Angeles, California, Hollywood is the show business capital of the world. Before becoming the glamorous and magnificent place we know today, Hollywood was nothing more than a remote area, much like many other lands in the western United States. Everything began in 1883, when Harvey Wilcox and his wife, Dada Wilcox, arrived from the state of Kansas to start a new life in this quiet land.
Harvey, do you feel it? This place is so peaceful.
I do. I think this is where we can begin again. If we work hard enough, this place will take care of us.
I believe it can be more than that.
During a journey, the name Hollywood was inspired by a place she had once visited, a settlement of German immigrants in Ohio.
Where are you from?
I'm from Hollywood.
Hollywood?
Wow, it's so beautiful. What if someone made a movie here?
It was not a director, not an actor, nor a film producer who named this legendary place, but an ordinary woman who unknowingly laid the foundation for a myth. From a quiet rural land, Hollywood began to dream. The birth of Hollywood was, in essence, a desperate escape from the iron-fisted monopoly of Thomas Edison. As the holder of nearly every patent for motion picture cameras and projectors, Edison's patent trust made it impossible for creators to work without paying exorbitant fees or facing aggressive lawsuits. To create freely, independent filmmakers did the only thing they could. They ran. They headed as far west as the map allowed, Southern California. Why California? It was simple math. Firstly, the region boasted over 300 days of sunshine a year, which provides free lighting at a time when artificial lights were weak and expensive. Secondly, compared to the high cost in New York, Hollywood was then just an agricultural area for growing oranges. The vast, cheap land allowed them to build mega studios like Universal or Paramount. And thirdly, if Edison's lawyers showed up, the Mexican border was just a few hours away. The film In Old California, directed by D. Griffith in 1910, became the very first brick of the foundation of the world's largest cinema industry. 1 year later, in 1911, the first official film studio was established by the Nestor Motion Picture Company under the direction of Al Christie. He was one of the early pioneers who laid the foundational stones of Hollywood. From then on, more and more film crews arrived. Old warehouses were transformed into sound stages, farmers became background actors, and simple stories were retold through moving images, a universal language that needed no words yet spoke to every eye. By the 1920s, Hollywood entered its golden age. It began to dominate global pop culture with its powerful industrial production system. In 1927, the first movie with sound, The Jazz Singer, was released, ending the era of silent films. 1939 was considered the greatest year in cinema history, with legendary masterpieces like Gone with the Wind or The Wizard of Oz. There are some reasons for Hollywood's success. The first reason relies on the studio system. Major film studios controlled every step of the process, from training actors and production to post-production and even owning the movie theaters. This created a professional and large-scale industrial line for making movies. Secondly, Hollywood was the first to introduce the star system, which turned actors into cultural icons, such as Charlie Chaplin, Mary Pickford, Humphrey Bogart, Marilyn Monroe, or Audrey Hepburn. Audiences didn't just go to the theater to watch a movie, they went to see their idols. Thirdly, the impact of world wars. While European cinema was heavily damaged by 2 world wars, Hollywood remained untouched. It took this opportunity to dominate the global market and export American culture to the rest of the world. Last but not least, the human factor. The people who moved to Hollywood were young, highly creative, daring, and willing to experiment. The boldness transformed Hollywood into the creative heart of the world. That golden age was the era when Hollywood shone at its brightest, a place where art, commerce, and cultural power converged. Beneath the glamour of fame and the glow of spotlights, Hollywood secured its position not only as the cinematic heart of the United States, but as the greatest storytelling machine of the 20th century. But beneath the glittering surface, is Hollywood really what it seems?
Hollywood is a place where they pay you $1,000 for a kiss and 50 cents for yourself. Marilyn Monroe wrote these words in her autobiography not too long before she died. To the world, she was a goddess, but to herself, she was a woman whose soul were being sold cheap, piece by piece. To understand why she felt that way and why her final days were so tragic, we have to go back to the beginning. Before there were a Marilyn, there were a lonely girl named Norma Jean. The soul that Hollywood valued at only 50 cents was actually a future Rock'n'Child born Norma Jean Mortensen. She never knew her father. Her mother suffered from severe schizophrenia. She spent her childhood being suffered between foster home and orphanage. She was appealed, neglected, and allowed. This drama to create a desperate need in her, and a need to be seen, to be held, and to be safe. That little girl didn't want things, she wanted a family. But when she entered Hollywood, she realized nobody cared about Norma Jean. They wanted a product, so she created a mask. She became Marilyn Monroe. These were the $1,000 kiss she wrote about. The studio paid her to be the dumb blonde, the sex symbol. They made millions of her body, but they refused to respect her mind. She tried to show them she was smart. She read literature, she studied serial acting, but the industry just laughed. They kept buying the kiss and ignoring the soul. She tried to find an escape through bluff, marrying baseball legend Joe DiMaggio and playground athlete Miller. She looked to them as a fathered figure, even calling them daddy. But even in marriage, she was treated as an object. DiMaggio wanted to control her. Miller was ashamed of her. One by one, her hope for a real connection shatters. By 1962, devoid and chocolate, the 50-cent sour, and words exotic. This leads us to the final haunting chapter. In the summer of 1962, just quick before her death, Marilyn gave her last interview to Life magazine. In those photos, the glamour is gone. She spoke to reporter Richard Merriman with brutal honesty. She said, "Please don't make me a joke." She confessed that fame had become a burden. She famously said, "I never deceive anyone. I've let men deceive themselves. They didn't see me, they saw their own lewd fantasy." It was her final attempt to reclaim her humanity. On August 3rd, the interview was published. 2 days later, on August 5th, Marilyn was found dead, hand clutching the telephone. The timing is heartbreaking. She poured her heart out to the world one last time, and then silence. Marilyn Monroe's life was a tragedy of transaction. She gave the world everything: her beauty, her talent, her $1,000 kisses. But in return, the world failed to protect her soul, and that is the true cost of being a legend.
Some people chose to smile and hide their pain in the shadows. They accepted their cruel fate. For decades, Hollywood operated this way, using glamour to mask broken souls. But silence is not the way. Silence only allows predators to nurture their power. When the pain becomes too heavy, it must explode. It is time for the secrets in closed rooms to step into the light. Sarah, you can go in now.
I can make you a star.
Sarah, I know you've been silent for 10 years, but he's still doing it. The girls in the 20s are walking into that room, just like you did.
I don't want anyone else to carry the pain. Turn on the recorder. My name is Sarah, and this is what Harvey Weinstein did.
Good evening. An era of silence in Hollywood has officially come to an end. Today, the Supreme Court handed down the final verdict for Harvey Weinstein, the man once dubbed the most powerful mogul in the film industry. For decades, Harvey Weinstein was the undisputed king of Hollywood. As the co-founder of Miramax and the Weinstein Company, he was the man behind Oscar-winning hits like Pulp Fiction and Shakespeare in Love. But behind the glamour of the red carpet lay a dark, open secret. Everyone knew he had a temper. What they didn't talk about was his systemic abuse of power. First of all, let's discover the wall of silence that protected a predator for over 30 years. Everything changed on October 5, 2017. Jodi Kantor and Megan Twohey of the New York Times published a bombshell investigation detailing decades of sexual harassment allegations against Weinstein. They revealed a pattern. Young actresses and employees were lured into hotel rooms for business meetings, only to face sexual demands. As the Weinstein allegations dominated the news, actress Alyssa Milano sent out a tweet. "If you have been sexually harassed or assaulted, write Me Too" as reply to this tweet. The response was an earthquake. Within 24 hours, the hashtag was used nearly 500,000 times. Weinstein has been sentenced to 23 years in prison on charges of sexual assault and rape. However, the fallout of this scandal goes far beyond a single prison sentence. It has triggered a cultural earthquake that has permanently reshaped American society. More than 80 women bravely stepped into the light, shattering multi-million-dollar non-disclosure agreements to demand justice. The Me Too movement, which began a simple social media hashtag, has spread to over 85 countries, forcing major corporations to permanently overhaul their workplace policies and strengthening legal protection for women across the globe.
Hollywood, the capital of dreams, a place that gives birth to both legends and nightmares. I used to wonder why Marilyn Monroe was so lonely and how Harvey Weinstein became so powerful. But I've come to realize that Hollywood is not just entertainment, it's a mirror reflecting the dreams and values of America. It's a place where the American dream can transform a young girl named Norma Jean into an icon, only to strip away her humanity in the process. A place where a man like Weinstein could exploit his godlike power to manipulate an entire industry for decades. So, is Hollywood really just entertainment? Perhaps not. It's a battlefield, a laboratory, and a promise that the stories we choose to tell and the way we choose to tell them will ultimately shape the future of America.